We spend so much time and energy looking for that perfect mentor, that one coach, that guru who's going to give us the key to unlock our potential. But what if I told you the most powerful, insightful, and, honestly, effective coach you'll ever have is already with you, 24/7? Today, we are diving deep into the art and the science of self-coaching. I mean, really think about that for a second. The ability to guide yourself, to find your own answers, and to create your own momentum from the inside out. This isn't just some nice, fluffy idea. It's a skill, and it's a massive advantage for anyone who's serious about growth. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to talk about why always looking to others can actually hold you back. Then, we'll start building your internal toolkit, first by finding your authentic blueprint, then mastering your inner game. And finally, the most important part, turning all that good thinking into real-world action. This whole thing is about setting you up for a lifelong journey of growth. All right, first up, let's talk about a super common trap that, let's be honest, most of us have fallen into. You get some great advice, you feel super motivated for a while, but then a few weeks or months later, you find yourself right back where you started. Ever wonder why that happens? Well, let's look at the story of Jessica. This just nails the whole problem. She's in what we call the dependency trap. All her progress was tied to her coach. When the coach was gone, guess what? The momentum just faded. She was basically outsourcing her growth instead of building the internal engine to keep it going herself. And this is the core difference right here. Look, external coaching is fantastic, don't get me wrong, but its real goal should be to make you self-sufficient. Self-coaching, on the other hand, is all about building that internal muscle for guidance from day one. In fact, neuroscience shows us that when you discover an insight yourself, that aha moment, your brain literally forms stronger, more permanent connections than when someone just tells you the answer. Those personal breakthroughs are hardwired to stick. So, how do we actually build that internal guidance system? Well, it all starts with a solid foundation of self-awareness. It's about finding what we call your authentic blueprint. Think of it as your own personal compass that helps you make better, faster decisions that are actually right for you. Take Maya's story. On paper, she was a huge success, but inside, she was miserable. Why? Because she was chasing someone else's definition of what success should look like. The second she figured out her own true values, creativity, helping others, everything clicked. She started aligning her career with who she really was, and that's where the magic really happened. So how do you find your own values? Well, it's a discovery process. First, think back to those moments when you felt totally alive, just completely in the zone. What was going on? What values were you living out? Second, and this is a big one, pay attention to what makes you angry or frustrated. That frustration is often a huge signpost pointing directly to a core value that's being stepped on. From there, you can look at a list of values, see what jumps out, and then whittle it down to your top 5. These become your non-negotiables, your new filter for making decisions. Okay, so once you've got your direction, your compass is set. The next big challenge is that voice inside your head, the one that tries to talk you out of everything. It's time to take that inner critic and turn it into your most powerful inner coach. Now, this is a total game changer. That negative voice, it's not actually your enemy. It's trying to protect you based on old, outdated programming. It's a survival instinct that's just not serving you anymore. The moment you understand where it comes from, that its intention is to keep you safe, it loses so much of its power. And that's the first step to rewiring it. And here's exactly how you start that rewiring process. It's all about catching those thoughts and redirecting them. So instead of a dead-end statement like, I can't do this, you just shift it to a growth mindset. I'm learning how to do this. You're not lying to yourself. You're just opening the door to possibility. And look at this one, swapping what if I mess up for what if this goes really well. That simple switch changes everything. This all leads to a really cool idea, anti-fragility. This is way more than just being resilient or tough. It's about becoming stronger because of stress and setbacks. Think about it like a muscle. When you lift weights, you create tiny tears in the muscle, and it grows back stronger. Anti-fragile people view challenges the same way, not as failures, but as feedback, as resistance that actually builds their strength for the next time. Okay, so you know your values, you've started to manage your mindset. Now comes the moment of truth, turning all of that insight into actual real-world progress. This is where the rubber meets the road. And honestly, it's where so many of us get stuck. Have you ever had a brilliant idea, but you never actually did anything about it? Yeah, that's the insight action gap. Your brain loves to think and plan because it feels safe. It feels like you're being productive. But planning isn't progress. And the biggest culprits that keep us in this gap are perfectionism, waiting for the perfect plan, and overwhelm. Seeing the goal is just way too big to even start. So, how do we break out of that trap? How do we consistently bridge that gap? Well, the answer is a surprisingly simple system, and it's all built around this number. It's called the 3 small wins system, and it is so powerful because it's so simple. Just forget that giant, overwhelming to-do list. Every single week, you identify just 3 small, concrete actions that will move you a little closer to your big goal. This works because it's not intimidating, it builds momentum, and it forces you to focus on progress, not perfection. You get a win, your brain gets a nice little hit of dopamine, and that makes you excited to pick your next 3 wins. And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, because this isn't about a one-time fix or a 30-day challenge. Self-coaching is a skill you weave into the fabric of your life, a practice that grows and evolves right along with you. This slide just sums up the whole model perfectly. Think of it like this. These 4 pillars all work together. Your values are your compass. They tell you where to go. Your mindset is the fuel for the journey. It gives you the courage to start. Your resilience is like the suspension on your car. It helps you handle the bumpy roads. And action? Well, that's the engine. That's what actually moves you forward. When they're all working in sync, you become your own most trusted guide. So the coach you've been searching for, it's already here. It's you. And the journey to unlocking that inner coach doesn't start tomorrow or next Monday. It starts right now, with one small step. So I'll leave you with this question to really think about. What's your first step going to be?